art. So that Strahof Monastery got this name maybe because it was seen as a spiritual guard on the way to Prague Castle from the western direction. 40 Strahov Monastery was founded in Prague in year 1140, and it was sponsored by the rulers or supported by the rulers because it was seen as a center of culture, education by that time. The members of this order restarted their life and they started to collect books. They hired an architect who built.
Were started in the 13th century and extended in the 14th century. 1600s made it even stronger. 14th century, they were attacked by the French and the Prussians. They fortified them some more. In the 18th century, they started demolishing them. In the 1950s, all monastic orders and congregations were forbidden under communist rule. The monastery was essentially dismembered and left idle. After the fall of the communist regime in 1989, the monastery was returned to the order, which began a costly reconstruction. By 1994, the church had been restored, a new technical network constructed, the picture gallery built, and the library renewed. They've got hotels and art galleries and so on, and they even have a brewery, and there's the barrel signifying the brewery.
Invited various artists and
this is Prague in
1493.
This is Czech Illustrated New Testament from 1487.
These two copies are copies of one book and of the oldest of within the collections at Strahov Monastery. Strahov Monastery has more than 200,000 books in their collections. And this is the oldest, which was written even prior the monastery was founded. So 1140, I said, this monastery was established and started to operate. And the book was written in 865.
Wow.
So 965. Not here in Germany,
wow.
In Prague, and then it was a long story until it came here.
This table is amazing. Look at the intricate inlay.
It starts to crack. It starts to fall apart. If it's
a Bible from 1440.
Century, those first printings are known as incunabula. So it has this special name, and they are treated the same way as like if they were handwritten. Because they're very rare, very few copies were preserved, very often they were with mistakes or some irregularities and so on. So, and moreover, there are very few of them.
Like a library of books, but it's not. You open the book and it has samples of trees, bushes, insects, etc. The library kind of looks like Milk. The library at the Abbey at Milk. Big row of huge, big globes.
Let me mention the globes, because look at this one, for instance, it's from 1630, so very old. And this one is 1750. This one is 1630, so these two are of the same period of time from Poland, and you can read the optical illusion that continues, but it doesn't continue. It's a flat trompe-l'oeil in French language. It means to fool your eyes.
This is a theological hall. Second half 1600s.
About this particular theological hall. The name you can judge that this is the hall where there are mainly books of religion. And there are really those religious ones here. And what did not fit in here is in the corridor and other halls. But the larger hall is called philosophical hall because there are more of the books either written by philosophers or on other subjects, dictionaries. Now, question about language. Most of them are written in Latin language. If you have a look
20,000 books are not all here.
You can see that there is that little bit of symbol. But if you find
There's a row of books behind the books we see. Book covers are all pigskin. The white-minded books.
It's hard to imagine, but all this, what you see here, with most of the books on these shelves, it's from another monastery. This was created for the monastery in the distance of about 100 miles away from Prague, halfway in between Prague and Vienna. Louka u Znojma, monastery of the same order, but Emperor Joseph II, the one who looked like George Washington, was the one who preferred military matters over the religious matters.
Late 1700s,
And
the emperor changed a lot of monasteries into barracks for the military. All of the books, all the woodwork, all the trim got moved from another monastery. But couldn't move the ceiling.
20 years had passed. They found the same artist who had meanwhile turned more than 60 but was in a good shape, and with one helper within 1 year managed to reproduce this beauty. That's on that bigger file. And what we are looking at, let me describe what we are looking at.
Completed 1794.
Like the sunshine, there's the legendary ark. Below, 10 Commandments, and on the side, Moses. To the left corner, there's an old man and young man, Abraham and Isaac. And in the corner slightly more to the left, like black and white relief, Cain and Abel.
New Testament.
In black and white, they symbolize the paganism. Then, richly dressed people in the corner, those are images of some of the rulers of Europe in the 3rd century, the beginning of Christianity, who officially recognized the new religion, made it legal. If you put it down, you put this chair inside and you have one solid table. You would not even recognize that it can be split into something else. So this moves, and you see the bag is shaped the same to fit in. Now, this is very solid because it can be converted in something else. Look at the division. Now, don't look at this picture. I'll show you later. Division of the table desk. And you may recognize, depends on what side, but from here it's well visible, that it turns into a black line. So optically it's hidden, but you can recognize that it's divided this way. So that means you can lift this up and, so have a look. You see? You can turn it all the way up, and then you get this. So have a look at the picture, like a little staircase. You can move it closer to those shelves, and you can read more. That way you can reach more books. So have a look at it. So very interesting. Like how dangerous it was. So isn't that cute? There's a wooden cube with the spiral staircase inside, and then you come out up there flush, because this is a painted paper, kind of brighter that painted paper
circular
that blue
staircase
color stands out.
and the
It's not so common
books
in other places.
behind
I
and
have to
next to it
mention that all
are
that was
painted.
prepared
They're not
first,
real.
some